What's up, you guys? What is happening? Okay, so I'm gonna let Instagram tell you I am here, and then we are going to get to it. It's gonna be short today because I have much work to finish. So let Instagram tell you I am here. I am here. Hi, hello. Hello. Oh my goodness, we are going to have fun today. Hi guys. How's it going? Welcome back to Talk to Me Thursday. Hi, hello. How is everyone? I hope you are well. Almost the end of the week. We are this close to closing out this week and the crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. Everyone else can just join. Hey. Okay, so welcome back to Talk to Me Thursday. It has been kind of crazy, and I'm like this close to finishing Broken Bridge Draft 1, and so I'm super excited about that because I'm getting to close all the loops. And it is quite like when you're at the end of not just a trilogy but an entire series, you're like, I left that loop open that one time. Okay, so housekeeping. We are chatting with my girl Andy J. Christopher about Stroke of Midnight for the Brown Apple Challenge on the 1st of February, which is also the beginning of Black History Month. But you know, over here on the Brown Apple Challenge, it's Day of the Black History Month because that's just what we do. Talking to Black and brown women about their romance books that they've written. So we are so excited to have Andy. And Stroke of Midnight is so delightful. So I hope you guys are reading. If you are not yet reading, it's available on ebook, paperback, audio. Make sure you grab it so that you don't show up at the book club without having read it, right? Because then you're going to get spoilers and then you're going to be mad, right? So make sure you do that. I'm very excited. Excuse me. Andy will be here on the 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we will be kicking it. Okay. And so, and then a cut for those of you for this month has been busy, y'all, like super busy. Okay. So, obviously I released Bridge of Love, the freebie prequel to the Speak No Evil trilogy. It's free. It's free in all vendors. Go grab it. If you haven't grabbed it yet, make sure you're reading that, because then you get to find out like the history and backstory behind Bridge and Emma and really all the guys. And then, London Bridge released, last week. Thank you guys for such a great release. I'm super happy about the book, and like you guys finally got in and the reviews are great. So thank you so much for loving them. So I'm super excited. If you have not picked it up, London Bridge is available right now at all vendors, and I think the link is in the bio. And then other cool things that happened this month. Oh yes, I did an Amazon Live with my girl Erin Branscombe. And I put the link in my bio, so go ahead and check that out. Check out the interview, and then you'll see lots of books from friends of ours and all that jazz. So I'm super excited to make sure you're checking that out. And then yesterday, I forgot like the big one. I got to do an interview for Fox Soul with The Business of Being Black by Tammy Mack. Her show, and it was like super interesting because like that leads into my topic for today. But if you have not watched it, you can grab it. I put the link is in the post, which is yesterday's post. So you should go ahead and be able to see it, and catch the show because you can just stream it. But what was interesting is there's this dude on there, yesterday on the show, you guys. You know how like when you go on TikTok and you see everybody and they're like, yeah, well, the new meme is like all these dudes, like it's like if you, that filter where it's like it gives women beards and like mustaches, and it's like, yeah, you know, if you don't like yourself as a guy, then you need to lower your standards, whatever. That's the filter. But then someone took it the next level and made me laugh so hard. And they were like, if I look like this, I would start a podcast. You know, the podcasts where it's like all these dudes, you know, it's like cishet dudes, straight dudes are like, yeah, this is why I'm an alpha, and you know, women need to like submit, dude. Listen, there's the guy on the podcast on the show yesterday, just like that, and I was like, oh my god, in the wild, no, stop it. And it was very interesting. The show itself, we were talking about like age gap and like you know, if it's okay or if it's not and whatever. But like, that's the whole topic is whatever. You can watch the show for that. But what was interesting is like before we were even like on, right? Homie was just like, just being very, it was just like full of ego. And I was like, you guys exist? These dudes who are out here like, yeah, you know, I'm an alpha male. Listen, if you have, as like guys, if any guys like are paying attention to like me doing my Talk to Me Thursdays, if you have to say that you're alpha, if you have to proclaim that you're an alpha male, self-proclaim it. You're not. I don't know what else to say, people. I mean, I see these guys on TikTok and every single one of them has a podcast. Everyone. Every last one of them. They have a podcast where they sit around in a circle jerk with their like dudes and their like bros and be like, yeah, man, alpha males, women need to submit. Why? Why should I submit to you? If you need to tell me you're an alpha male, that means that you're not. And why do I need to submit in the first place? Why can't we be equals? Because the only way that you're going to like be able to like feel like at all competent or strong is if you're subjugating someone. Say what now? And so this dude was like hard on. He was like right away. He was like, yeah, you know, because I'm an alpha. Yeah, and you can refer to me as this. And I was like, no, I should not be referring to you as an alpha male. You guys, it was so funny because I just like, I straight up, I like from the moment, hi guys, hey, my usuals are here now. You guys, it was so funny because I was like, oh my God, one of these alpha dudes in the wild who has a podcast. And like, you know, and like, look, the conversation was respectful because it was like TV. And so like, they're trying to get us to like, they're trying to pit us against, he was a hot mess. Sorry. Adrabu, yes. No, he was a hot mess. Because my favorite was like, he's like, I got a 6-pack. And I was, I'm not going to name names because that would be mean. But like, I was like, yes, but your face. No, but my whole thing was like you could have your viewpoints and you can like, when we can have like a discourse, but like when you roll on and you're like, well, you know, these women need to submit. Like, and he said, I don't want women who are damaged. And I was like, who damaged these women? Who? And he's like, they've been damaged by these like beta male simps, manginas. And I was like, I don't know if you guys watch the thing, you can see. And I know like normally I work really hard when I'm on something like that. And I know it's like streamed or televised or on video to keep my placid face. This is my placid face. Hold on. Don't make me laugh. Hold on. Placid face, right? And like kind of neutral smile, you know, trying to be friendly, like engaged, listening, nodding. Thoughtful, that's my thoughtful nod too. But y'all, when he said women have been damaged by these beta males, simps, and manginas, I'm pretty sure my face, like I can't remember exactly, but I think my face was something like this. And I just, and I was like, no, pretty sure women have been damaged by all men. Like, no, and then I was just like really sarcastic about his mangina comment. I was like, who's his mangina? You guys. Look, I was very grateful to be on Fox Soul, and I'm like, and I enjoyed Tammy Mac, and I was very like happy that like I got to like do it. But I was like, from the moment, like off air, I was like, ooh, no. But I was like, what in the world is happening right now? I was like, Lord Jesus, I pray for you to come down and tell me this is a joke. Is this a joke? Well, because what's happening, I don't know how many of you are on TikTok or on like activist TikTok or like black girl TikTok. But what's happening is you log into TikTok and you see all these dudes who are like, have these hot takes on why like women, especially black women, are single. And it's because we don't know how to submit to an alpha man. I was like, okay, you don't, like, I'm more educated than you, better looking, actually in shape. I take care of myself, I eat right. I mean, like, this is just like what the women are saying, right? Like, and I am better traveled, I make my own money, I have a career, and yeah, dude, the other dude was straight up like, did he just, well, no, because the other dude was like technically on my side, right? And he was like, you wild. And so like, but these women are like, and then you want me to submit to you who is barely employed, you know, you make like less than half of what I make, and like you're out here trying to be like, you need to submit to me because I'm a man. If you have to tell me you're a man, you're not a man. Like this whole like toxic masculinity bullshit that like these so-called purported alphas are like running around, and then they're like, yeah, and then people, you read romance novels and you think that's real life. And I was like, we like, men like that exist. My husband is one of them. He's a feminist, and he's like, he was so excited to be a girl dad. He's like, yeah, because my daughter's gonna be a badass, you know? And like, I was like, I was like, men like this exist who like are great men, great father figures, great, not assholes, not running around talking about, I'm a man, I'm alpha. And guess what? My husband is basically the only man next to my father who can actually be like, maybe that thing you want to say, maybe don't. He's the only man on earth who can make me stop and go, because he's my best interest at heart, right? And then sometimes I'm like, and then they said this, and then he's like, nah, let it fly. People are like, control your woman. He's like, have you met her? And he's like, also, I don't want to. So like, I was sitting there and I was like, and then the best part is like the other woman who was lovely, Azo, I forget her last name already, but she was lovely and she was on Big Brother. So if like, go show her some love on the socials. But you know, even though she was like pro age gap, she was like damaged. We're not gonna like cut off a whole slew of women because like damage or bullshit. All of us were like, dude. And then when I checked him on his damaged comment, he then tried to be like, you put words in my mouth. And I was like, nah, dude, you're the one who said damaged. So I'm just calling you on that. He's like, all of a sudden became Porky Pig. And I was like, well, because like, I couldn't believe that was like, it's one thing if you have your take, like, no, I think like, you know, like let people live. And if they want to have these relationships, great. Have your take. I don't care. Right? But then to be like, but these women are damaged though. You guys. Because when you like, you go on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and it's like even mildly activist, like TikTok or Twitter and like, or Instagram, whatever. And you're sitting here, all these and they all have a podcast. And then they're sitting around in a circle jerk, like, yeah, like, man, these females, like, with their makeup on, like, you know, catfishing us, and like, I don't know, you were killing me because, like, I was trying so hard to, like control my face, because, listen, I'm very African, and so, and my husband's always like, he's like, look, there's never any confusion as to where you stand on something because it's written right here. Like, it's like my face is like writing checks that my body can't cash. I'm like, what the fuck? It was hilarity. Because everything you hear about these guys, and they got like, I got my podcast, and I got my and like women should submit, and I'm an alpha, and I was like, I just wanted to be like, well, if you have to, and then my favorite part was when he was like, my favorite part was when he legitimately said, he was like, well, I don't chase women chase me, and I was like, and that was one part, like, I really had to control my face. I bit down on my molars, and I was like, do not make a face, Nana. Of all the things on this face you shall not make, not today, Satan. How I controlled it so hard, like, placid face. He's like, women chase me, you know, my current woman, right? She approached me because I'm an alpha. I'm a high value male. I was like, listen, if you have to tell me you're high value, you're not. You're not. Because check it, high value men don't have to say T at the same got a T with the thumb, the T, don't have to say it. Why are you here rather telling me how high value is? The moment you have to then tell me that you're worth my time or worth anything and you can't just like exist and be a decent human being. Like, listen, he might, no, I don't know this man, right? But from what he said, I've made my judgments. But so like, what you said, like, be about, if you're going to be about it, be about it. Like, say it with your whole chest and then back it up. I'm like, so you really believe this? You're like really in this whole, like, I'm an alpha and like these other dudes have damaged women. I'm not gonna fix a situation a relationship I didn't break. I'm not gonna fix that. And I was like, wow. So you're like really running around here like these women are damaged. Like, so the only people are like the people who have not ever been in a relationship, which means they're gonna be really, really, really young. And then he said, he's like, yeah, you can mold them a little bit. And I was like, oh, predator alert, predator alert. Ah! And then he must have heard himself. I don't know if you heard it, but like he must have heard what he said, because then he was like, well, yeah, 20's too young. Like, that's too young, cause then I was like, R. Kelly. And I was like, oh. Okay, but my favorite part was he literally tried to give definitions of like a beta male, a simp, someone who's not a man. And I was like, your toxic masculinity is showing. And he tried to then be like, I sounded like a predator. He must have an assistant who was like, stop talking. And then he was like, well, no, not 20 though, because that's too young. No, that's too young. But like, if you are 46, I think he said he was, and that means that your girlfriend is 26. It's too young. And he's like, yeah, no, not 20 though. That's too young. And I was like, no, predator alert. Because like you basically said the thing. You want to be able to mold at these women who like are, so they're not going to have boundaries with you. They're not going to be like, that's not okay. Because the moment they do, they're damaged, right? Oh, you guys, it was a wild. So if you haven't checked out the show yet, please do. Because I was like, in the wild, like no, the thing is, people like guys like that are never gonna like ever hear like he's gonna hear and be like, yeah, man, that was a great interview, man. I did great. And my husband is so funny. He's like, babe, we're gonna watch it as a family. And I was like, I lived through it. I can't do that again. He was like, no, he's like, we're gonna watch it. He's like, I'm gonna take down notes, right? I'm gonna take down notes on what I should say. He's like, I'm gonna connect with these one-liners, like, but I'm an alpha man, and women should submit. And I was like, you do that. See how that works out for you. And he was like, you're right. But he was like, oh my God. And even before, like I was texting him and I was like, oh yeah, I'm on, and this guy, and like I gave him his name, and I was like, he was like, oh no, his page is like, his website is like all like full ego. He's one of these dudes who's out here being like, I'm giving dating advice on how to be like, listen, if you need someone to tell you how to be a high value man, and like, you're not. I don't know what else to say. I don't know, because like the reason women read romance and like are in it, and like we love these worlds of billionaires, because at the core of it, these men respect the women that they're with and then disrespect them in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, they respect them outside of the bedroom. Like whether they're a billionaire, a mafia lord, they own, they're in a motorcycle club, they're this, they're that. At the end of the day, the men respect the women. It's romance. It's fantasy. Are those men available? Do they exist 100%? Right? Unfortunately, you alpha male wackadoos, right? Running around like with your podcasts with your 3 followers, are the ones that are most vocal. But like, and then you call anyone who doesn't agree with you, anyone who's like, no, women shouldn't be subjugated, and that's very patriarchal. And P.S. that all that shit is not working for us. It's really not working because men are lonely, because they don't know how to connect emotionally. And then you call them beta males and Simpson. Oh, what was the term? Mangina. P.S. if you're gonna say mangina, I just feel like you have to be like, give it like a suck it motion. Like you guys. Anyway, I think I performed fairly well. Like I had that one face slip. Oh, thank you. I had that one face slip, y'all. The one. And I couldn't, I couldn't control it. But other than that, I think I managed. I think I managed. I think I managed. After that one face slip where I was just like, oh, fuck. It was like, I could feel it. My ancestors were like roaming around in my body like, and then one of them said, bitch, please. Like I just, I mean, one of my ancestors was like, yeah, I mean, fully blown out. Like my God woman came through like, what nonsense is this foolishness? And it contorted my face. And so I could not control myself. And I had to just be like, say the fuck now. Listen, all in all, I had a good time on Fox Soul. And thank you again to Tammy Mack and team for having me on the Business of Being Black. But to my alpha males out there, you know what I want to do? Actually, I feel like, cause like that's, you know, as a romance writer, like one of the things that we talk about, like when we're teasing our books, right? And we're like doing all the promo, we're like, he's an alpha male. But I feel like now, I would have been like, my camera froze too. I was like, that was a glitch in the camera, sorry. But like, I feel like now when I like start marketing my book and I'm talking about like my alpha heroes, right? I'm going to be like, I'll be like, he's an alpha, but he does not have a podcast. He does not believe that all other men are betas, simps, or manginas. He believes in respecting women and disrespecting them in the bedroom. I feel like those are going to be my selling points from now on. And I'll be like, oh yeah, and again, he does not have a podcast. Grab this book. I feel like that would be like a hilarious marketing campaign. Right now, I feel like if my publicist sees this, she's just going to be like, no. No. But listen, it was wildness. And I sort of want to like prep. I want to like, I feel like I want to have this conversation with Andy J. Christopher, because as you know, I hope you know, Andy J. Christopher really coined the stern brunch daddy phrase. And I feel like those are the men that walk around and you don't have to, or even women, because women can be stern brunch daddies, because I feel like she designated Rebecca from Sierra Simone's Thorn Chapel series as a stern brunch daddy, right? And so I feel like I need to make her go watch that interview, and then we can discuss alpha males and how stern brunch daddies like never have to say I'm a stern brunch daddy. Because think about it, all the men that you encounter that have like full quiet confidence and like if you run into a dude like that, like don't you immediately go, oh, okay, all right. I mean, like you just do. Like the people like that, men and women, right? Anybody with that kind of quiet confidence, like, but I will say women get questioned for their quiet confidence a lot more than men do. But when you run into a man who has quiet confidence, he doesn't even have to say shit. He just has to like literally exist. And everybody is like, that motherfucker's in charge. It's him. It's him. Right? And he doesn't have to say anything. He can be perfectly lovely and friendly and whatever, but you just know. You're like, that's the dude that's who we're not trying to fuck with. Right? And I think for women that when we have that quiet confidence, that makes these, I want to use like little quotes, alpha, lowercase alpha men. I think that really makes them just like start twitching because they're like, what you mean you're better than me? And it's like, well, I never said that. I never had to say it. I was just quietly existing, and my existence bothers you because you know you can't get someone like me. So in order for you to feel better about yourself, you need to belittle my education, belittle my looks, belittle my size, belittle my age. And at the end of the day, like, that says more about you, you know? And then I have to get over And I know there's been a conversation, I think it was like just the other day on Twitter, a conversation about like why all romance heroes have to be tall. And they don't have to be. Listen, hey Kelly! I don't think they all have to be tall. Like we can have body diversity for the men, but at the end of the day, I'm not worried about cishet straight white men. I'm not. I don't care. And I always say that my heroes are completely interchangeable. Because what I'm here, Nana Malone, me as an author, what I am here for is my diverse women, diverse body types, diverse looks, skin colors, ethnicities, cultures. That's what I'm about. All of my men are interchangeable. I said it. Be mad if you want. And so like, yes, women love a tall. Yes, I'm gonna force Andy to go watch that interview. So Kelly, in case you missed it, I was talking about my interview that I did yesterday for Fox Soul, and how like they had this dude on it who was like, yeah, I'm an alpha. No, I need a woman to submit. We were talking about age gaps, right? In relationships and if they work or don't work or whatever. And so his whole take was like, yeah, of course I would. And then they asked him if he would ever date a woman older than him. He was like, no, why? Ugh, gross. I mean, he literally had a visceral, like, that's disgusting vibe to him. But he kept talking about how much of an alpha he was. As an alpha male, I don't want any woman who's damaged. And Kelly, you can imagine my face. I had a very difficult time controlling it. And so we've been talking about my lack of facial control, and then how I read him. And the thing is, I read him very lightly and I was very respectful. But then of course, because I had the nerve to challenge him, and oh no, you can still catch it. Just go to foxsoul.tv and you can see the interview, and you only need like 10 minutes. You don't need to see the whole thing. You only need like a good 10 minutes and then you'll come back laughing. And I laughed so hard. Like I gave him a very, Adrobo was here. My read was so light. It was like a baby read. It was like I sent in my 11-year-old to read him. Although wait, my 11-year-old is savage. She really will fuck a motherfucker up. I don't know why, you guys, but she like really lacks a filter. And I don't know if she must get it from her father's people, because like I am the picture of keeping my shit together. I don't know. She must get it from her father's people, because she will read a motherfucker and make him cry and then be like, I don't know why he cried. It was so weird. But like, it was such a light read, and the way and I was like, you were the one who called women damaged. So I don't know what you wanted me to say to you, but the fuck? So I gave him a very light read, and then he wanted to cry about it. And I was like, no, if you're going to do it, be about it. You said it, back up your shit. So yeah, it was a very interesting interview, but I'm just like, but it was like, so Kelly, we were talking about how like, you see on TikTok, like how like everyone has that filter where like all the women are like getting like, their little like beards and being like, oh my God, if I look like this, yes, tiny bun. If I look like this, I would start a podcast. And I was like, he's exactly that dude. Like, like has like a podcast with 7 followers, and like, and he was so butthurt that cause he's like, oh, you're putting words in my mouth. And I was like, no, you said damaged. You used the word. That was on you. And so I gave him a very gentle read, and he wanted to cry about it. So it was hilarious, because he was that guy. He kept saying how alpha he was, and how like he's a catch, and like, he doesn't chase women chase him. And I was like, but your face though. I didn't say it, but how I wanted to. And like my husband was like, he's like, I could see that you were like, He's like, I commend your ability to control your mouth. And I was like, I barely managed. Listen, it was hilarity. And so, but I was mostly shocked, because I was like, these men are like out in the wild. And yes, I was just saying this, Kelly, like if you have to say you're an alpha, right? That means you're not. If you have to be like, I'm an alpha, I'm a man, submit. If you have to tell me, then that means you aren't even in charge of shit. Right? And also, if you're an alpha and you're a man, you also don't want me to submit. you're going to be like, no, respect. Game respects game, like for real. And so at the end of the day, real alphas are going to be like, I don't need to control you. And they're like, it's that quiet confidence. That's what makes them so appealing. But Kelly, I was joking that now I'm going to like, so all the marketing and all my teachers from now on will be like, you know, how a real alpha responds. Number 1, does not have a podcast with 7 followers. Number 2, does not go around telling everyone he's alpha. Number 3, doesn't insist that women have to submit and then insist on splitting the check. I feel like that would be like a genius marketing plan. I feel like I need to make those teasers. I'm gonna listen, but I feel like Nina would yell at me so hard. She'd be like, stop it. But I'm gonna anyway. I feel like it. I might make a TikTok with that. Be like, he's an alpha. Doesn't even have a podcast. Oh my God. But it was so funny, you guys, because I just was like, listen, I haven't been in a dating pool for a very long time, obviously. I have Mr. Man and he's lovely and he's sexy, and that smile really, because at the end of the day, I'm shallow. So there's a reason I haven't been in that dating pool for a very long time. But I knew it was bad for my girls out in my girls out in the wild, right? I knew it was bad, right? But it's one thing to see these people on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or whatever spouting bullshit, because it's like, you're on the internet. I make it a point not to argue with people on the internet because, pardon me, I have real things to do. But what got me was I was like, no, this is like a real person just out here talking about his podcast and how he teaches men to be alphas. And I'm like, you're real. And I was like, the damage that you're doing running around spewing your nonsense, I was like, oh. And then my favorite part was like the other dude that was on this like TV thing with me. He like actually is a relationship therapist. He's like, so like I'm a relationship coach, and like he's like, yeah, you know, like because you can't expect anyone else to fix you unless you do your internal work yourself. And I was like, oh, so this is what you want, like the reasonable people, because like me and the other girl, like we had opposing viewpoints, but like at least she was reasonable, right? I was like, oh, you're putting the reasonable against the irrational. Cool. I was like, this guy deserves a podcast. You, on the other hand, this is. So like to all my girls out there in the dating pools, like, I'm so sorry. Like I knew, but I didn't know, you know? And now that I know and I've seen this shenanigans out in the wild, my friend, I'm sorry. I believed you, you see, I did. But I didn't like feel it in my soul until my ancestors came out and played on my face when he said these damaged women who have been damaged by beta males, simps, and manginas. And then I understood what you have been going through. I was waiting for him to like full on be like, what do you bring to the table? I was waiting. I imagine it is wild, but like, I mean, can you do it for comedy? Because sometimes you need to be entertained and you're like, what? But that's like also a stress. But like, I was waiting for him to ask, like, what do you bring to the table? I was waiting for him to say, like, you women out here with your catfishing us with your makeup. I was like, the beauty industry, an industry men created to make us more attractive to them. The men are now mad that it makes us more attractive to them. And they're like, we're being tricked, bamboozled. Well, I don't understand. What do you want exactly? Also, most women will make up for themselves. Because it makes us feel hot and sexy. It's not our fault you were bamboozled. And you're not like, okay, well, I know that foundation can maybe make your skin look amazing. But like, but ever notice it's always the guy was like, you know, like a cheese plate for a face. And you're like, okay, cool. That's what we're doing now. All right. You know, I mean, it's nice to have opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. I mean, but I laughed so hard. You guys, I mean, and the best part is like, like during the commercial breaks, so like they had to take a couple breaks during the TV show, like the filming of it. So like the breaks, like we would be like midpoint, and then it was like trying hard not to continue the point when it was like off air, because they would be like, hold that thought in the comments, you know, and then try and bring us back up. And I was just like, this guy, he's wild. Like I was like, no, this has to be a personality. It has to be. And then he referred to himself as an acronym. No, but for real, that was his name. That's how he wanted to be. That's how he likes people to refer to as an acronym. As an acronym, you guys. As an acronym. So anyone who is just joining us, I was talking about my first television experience yesterday on Fox Soul, foxsoul.tv. You can go watch the episode. How they had on one of those guys who was like straight up, but I'm an alpha male, you know, I'm an alpha. And I've never like met one of those people in the wilds. I mean, you see them on the interwebs, but I don't argue with strangers and idiots on the internet. I just don't. And so I was like, you're real? I felt like it was a science experiment. I was like, poke it, see what happens. So but I was like, no, it's not my show. Like, if I had one of those people on here, I would be poking at them a lot more. But I mostly kept it together. I only had one what the fuckery moment, honestly. And I feel like I kept my shit together, really. And I didn't like go fly off the handle. It was, my read was so light. It was such a small read. It was so little. And I just, it was one of those. I just was like, can I poke it? Can I? But for real though, my fellow authors, I dare all of us, like next time we have a book with an alpha male, I was like, you guys, we need to like do at least one marketing teaser to be like, he's an alpha male, but he doesn't even have a podcast with 7 followers. What? He's an alpha male, but believes that his woman is equal to him. What? Like, I just want us to I think we need to normalize that as like our new marketing technique. I'm for sure gonna do it. I have a release in like a couple weeks, so I'm like, those are all my teasers. I'm gonna put them on TikTok just like that. You guys, it was hilarity and I enjoyed every damn minute of it. It was really fun. I would definitely do it again. Perhaps with like a less douchey panelist. But I mean, he was certainly entertaining. You can see why the producers were like, yes, let's bring this guy on. This guy with the romance author, like that's gonna be fireworks. I think they probably even wanted more reaction from me, but I just did not. I was like, And so, but like, listen, you're going to see it. The moment it happens, you're going to see placid face. Hold on. Let me do that. Hold on. And then it's going to go, oh my God. And I could feel it. Like I said, my ancestors were calling me. They were like, hey, Nana, this one we're coming out. We have to say something. And I was like, I could feel my grandmother coming to be out like, foolishness. Kwasia. I could feel it. And I was like, no, keep it together. Keep it together. And then I just couldn't. It was amazing. And I've lost an earring. So guys, how do people wear hoops? Okay. Like I keep losing these and they're a mess. Girl, listen. I controlled myself. Anyone who knows me probably watched it and was like, man, she was so tame. Because I did not lose it, but it was very funny. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. Let's see, what else is going on? Oh, KidLit. You guys, funny stories for KidLit. Right? I did not curse. Cause I was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think they're like mostly on YouTube, but they also have like their TV download. And then I don't know, like, I think they show in some, like on television in some markets. So I was like, let me not cuss. And so I had to like keep myself controlled. But, okay. So KidLit story, sort of related. So KidLit has a crush. Okay. It's a little boy at school. And I see him, and like the first time I see him, I was like, oh, he's cute. I mean, he has floppy hair. She has a white boy thing too. I'm trying to break her of it. I don't know. Listen, I had a white boy thing too. I mean, I still do sometimes. But like, listen, little floppy blonde headed kid, floppy in his, and I was like, oh, floppy hair. I can see your type right now manifesting itself. And so anyway, they play. Sometimes they're in the same like friend group. And so like one day, like she's sitting around in the circle with the friends, right? And then like, and they were talking about birthdays or whatever. So he's like, oh, I'm such and such date. And it's like 5 days. And she was like, oh, I'm such and such date. And he's like, oh, and then she turns to him and she was like, oh, you're older than me? And he was like, what are you talking about? So he's in 6th. And so anyone who knows, KidLit skipped a grade, not too long, like a couple of years ago. And so she's with the 7th grader. So he's like, wait a minute. So he was trying to do mental gymnastics to figure out how he could possibly be older. And he's like, no, but you're in 7th grade. And she's like, yeah, but I'm 11. And he was like, wait, so I'm older than you? And she's like, yeah. And he was like, awesome. So I'm older than you. And she was like, it's not a big, it's a couple of days. And her friend who was sitting there was like, yeah, but she's smarter than you. You guys, these kids, savagery. And I was like, ah! And then he was like, yeah, but I'm still older than you. And then the kid turned to him and said, well, I'm taller than you. And he said, no, you're not. And so she was like, dude, come on, I am. And then he was like refusing to let it go. And of course, anytime, right? Savage, right? And then so he wouldn't let it go. And so she was like, I mean, we don't want to measure. And so he's like, no, we do. I am taller than you. And so she stood up and she is tall. And much taller than him. And so it's clear. And she was like, sorry. And then she said, short king. You guys, listen. Listen. It's not my fault. Her savagery is not my fault. I was like, you gotta resist the urge. And her savagery is not my fault. I blame her father. You guys. So listen, she and her friends are a whole nother level of savage, and they're already in their villain phase, and these chicks are 11 and 12. I don't know what we're gonna do about it, but they are taking no prisoners, and it's hilarious. So anyway, that concludes. I hope I've given you guys a laugh. I hope you guys go check out the show. And then check out the Amazon Live I did with Erin Branscombe, which was really fun. And we chatted books and just reading, and my latest release, which of course, as you guys know, is London Bound. Oh, again, London Bridge, because I have a London Bound. But check it out. So you can check both links out in my link tree, in my bio. And then I hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday. Check out the show because it is funny. And, but Tammy's great. She's a great interviewer and all that jazz. Okay. Remember on, the first, we are chatting with my girl, Andy J. Christopher. And then we will also announce, the next, you're welcome, Kelly. We will also announce the next, Brandable Challenge book for the month of February. And remember, everyone, okay, so all my peeps, I know you want to post for like, Black History Month, excellent. But remember, every month is Black History Month, every single one. So keep posting, schedule all your stuff for like several months. It's cool. Every month is Black History Month. Okay, cool. So we're talking to Andy J. Christopher on the 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then I'll announce the next Brandable Challenge book. So stay moving, keep it fluid. And you know, keep knocking down them alphas as we see them. And I will check you guys later. Love you. Mwah!